Some more good news on the destruction of unconstitutional gun control laws. Another relatively new gun control law could not survive the Bruen test. In the first of its kind ruling in Louisville, Kentucky, a judge determined that a convicted felon cannot be prosecuted on a firearms charge because it violates his Second Amendment rights. Before I jump into that, I want to thank the sponsor of the video, and that's Blackout Coffee. Guys, you know that we have been supporting GOA and FPC for years. And now we have added the Second Amendment Foundation to that bunch. For every item of each one of their respective lines, we will send $2 for each item sold directly to those groups. So if you buy 10 items of SAF's coffee, whether it's bag or K-Cup, we'll send $20 to the SAF. Same for GOA, same for FPC. It's our way of giving back and helping the groups who support us. And you can help us by buying some coffee. blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. We do coffees, teas, and hot chocolates. Great swag. And if you want to try it for the first time, I'll give you 10% off. Use code GNG10 at checkout. Let's talk about this case. The Jefferson Circuit Court Judge, Melissa Logan Bellows, ruled on Wednesday that it is unconstitutional for prosecutors to move forward with their case against Jacroy Lamont Frazier under the state law that prohibits felons from owning a gun because she said it doesn't outweigh the Second Amendment right that belongs to all Americans, to the people, we the people. Frazier was arrested on November 6th of 2021 when the Louisville Metro Police were called to the scene after a driver hit a pole. They claim that he attempted to try to hide something in the car and gave a gun to his co-defendant who was also in the vehicle in order to conceal it from officers and also conceal the fact that he was a felon in possession of a handgun. Back in October, his attorney asked to dismiss the gun charge and cited the 2019 case where then Judge, before she was a justice, then Judge Amy Coney Barrett, who said this in her ruling, quote, "Founding era legislatures do not strip felons of the right to bear arms simply because of their status as felons." I wonder if she's going to hold true to that in the case we'll talk about here in a moment. The Jefferson Commonwealth's Attorney's Office argued that the U.S. justice system had consistently disarmed people, quote, who it deems to be unvirtuous, such as felons, and that the Kentucky Supreme Court also supported this argument. The judge cited a Supreme Court ruling in Heller that said there is a strong presumption that the Second Amendment right is exercised individually and belongs to all Americans. The judge also said, quote, "Therefore, the court is reluctant to accept that the limits on the right protected by the Second Amendment are defined by a person's virtue or good character." Now, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office said they disagreed with the ruling and that it deviates from well-established precedent, norm, and case law. And they also said that they will appeal the judge's decision. However, they might have to wait at least until June when the Supreme Court will rule on the Rahimi case, which is a case they heard recently that will address the Second Amendment rights of convicted felons. Let's see if Amy holds true in that. Now, the judge also ruled that the prosecutors did not present evidence of a historical tradition of disarming felons after the Second Amendment was ratified in 1791. And that is, of course, the Bruen decision she's referring to. She said that the prosecutors failed to prove that the state law in Kentucky is consistent with this nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. And you know what? Not a single law in any of the states can pass that test. Guys and gals, I wanted to bring this to you because I think this is good news. There will be some of you who are watching will say, well, Jared, you really think that bad guys should have guns? Well, I guess the bad guy part is subjective. I don't know what he was convicted of, but when the policy and procedure book of the country was written and adopted, those are the rules we live by. Those are the rules of the country. If you don't like those rules, perhaps the problem might be the way you are interpreting something or the way we feel about something. There are some laws on the books that make me feel icky too, but the laws passed can't violate our rights, and we have a right to self-defense, a right to keep and bear arms. The well-regulated militia. You see what was happening in Hartford, Connecticut. That's the well-regulated militia patrolling their own streets because the state, the local government, the police aren't doing a hell of a good job. If you haven't seen that video, check that out because it's a pretty cool story. Guys and gals, check out Blackout Coffee. Please check out the blends from GOA, FPC, and SAF. And I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think about this story down below. And what do you think about the Rahimi decision? What's your prediction on the Rahimi case? I think the justices are going to carve out some things which are going to address the felon in possession. I don't think it's going to be a grand slam home run as far as, stripping restrictions on the Second Amendment. But I could be wrong. We shall see. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.